Okay, very brief housekeeping today. I'm pretty much caught up with the spinner blade stock, but it's always a work in progress. Now, it doesn't help that I started giving the blades a final polish before packing,
My fingers hurt.
but in these and other endeavors, I bow to my OCD. Now, as for today's video, all the techniques you'll see are featured in granular detail in the virtual jigging lesson. Okay, pier fishing. I can't remember the last pier fishing video on this channel. I know there were some jetty and dock videos, but here I'm standing on an actual fishing pier. Now, fishing from a deep vertical structure is in many ways more akin to fishing from a boat than from a beach. The tide is very quick. Yeah. Beaches are generally shallow and you're retrieving up a sloping bottom with mild current but sometimes heavy wave action. Deep piers and jetties, on the other hand, are first and foremost current-driven fisheries. The current dictates your casting angles and retrieves almost entirely. Now, that was a terrible net job. It's been a while since I've had to use that net, but it does get smoother later on. In any case, as I was saying, the current dictates where you cast and in what direction you cast in. The number one rule is with a light jig, and here I'm still using a 1/4 ounce jig head with the 6-inch gulp jerk shad, you have to cast into the current. Okay, that way you can get that light jig down deeper and you can fish the main structure of the pier more effectively. And the main structure at any pier is the pier itself. Alright, that one was hardly any better, but I promise the next one is going to be real smooth. So I'm on this pier and you'll see me walking all over it, making casts at different spots, and that really depends on which direction the current is running. Now, I treat a pier just like I treat a beach. It's the same thing to me. I'm going to cover water, I'm going to cast at different angles, but the scale is just smaller because you have less space to walk around on. Regardless, by the end of my trip, I would have peppered almost every corner of this pier with my jig. There we go, a little bit of netting redemption. It does take practice, like everything else in fishing. Imagine a double-digit fluke just hanging there 12 feet below you in current, and you gotta fit that thing into that net. Now, unfortunately, this fish took the jig deep, and you guys saw how quickly I hammer home that hook set. It takes nothing for a fluke to suck that 6-inch jerk shaft down his gullet. Now just to note, this is how I do quick measurements just with the measuring tape. That's just to track keepers on a trip. But the only way to really get a true length measurement is to lay your fish flat on a measuring board. And since this guy is taking the fish home, I didn't want him to get in trouble. No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Take care. So the tide just dropped out and I made my way to a different section of the pier to cast around and cover new ground. So you guys saw me miss that fish the first time and then just drop it straight back. That works a lot better in deeper water. We're standing over 12 to 15 feet and these fish are a lot less wary than fluke ambushing a beach lip. So another decent net job. Now I should mention that I'm using the Major Craft landing net. It's obviously a telescopic net. I'll leave a link to that and all the gear I'm using down below. And here's my second keeper of the day. I'm going to end up with a limit plus a fish. Yeah, it's not bad for my first time at this pier. And here's one of the reasons I don't spend a lot of time on fishing piers is basically other people. Like I said, space is limited and you have people that set up 10, 12 rods to a group and this is what happens. I mean, if you notice, their line is across where I'm casting and they're not even on the same pier as me. Their sinker is dragging in the current. And for the most part, you can avoid that just by casting up current because most of their lines is going to go the opposite direction and just collect weeds all day, basically. Okay, so I moved locations again. I'm at a different section of the pier. And here I think I catch my third pretty nice fish. Alright, so definitely a little bit of a net violation there, but I aborted in time. Now imagine if you were using a teaser. Alright, a teaser and a bad net job equals disaster. There's so many times that teaser hook will catch the net and then you end up losing the fish.
Wow.
I'm a chef by trade. I don't want to cook when I get home.
Oh,
So,
wow, damn.
Yeah, man, it's a nice one.
Holy.
You want me to bleed it? You got a knife?
Yeah. Could you bleed them?
Yeah. You got a bucket to put them in?
Yeah, I got a bucket on that. Thank you, man.
No problem. So the rod I'm using is the Shimano X-Bride B72 medium light paired to a Daiwa Alpha's SVTW. I'm running PE 2.5 YGK upgrade for braid and a 10-foot, 12-pound Sunline Sniper as leader material. As always, the Gammy 1/4 ounce 3/0 jig head and both the 6-inch jerk shad and the 5-inch mullet played that day. Now you might be wondering why I'm using my bait casting setup as opposed to a spinning rod. From a pier, you notice that railing. The railing is pretty annoying with spinning gear. So here, I actually went back to the car, I had to take a phone call, and I got my Labrax and Stella setup out. I made one cast, and the only reason I went to get it is I wanted to bomb a cast out there to see if there's anything further out from the pier. And this next fish I catch, which ends up being a keeper, was pretty close in as well. But the point here is the spinning reel hanging below the rod really gets in the way when you have this railing at waist or chest height all the way around the pier. You see there, I'm either in front of the railing or behind it. I couldn't kind of lean against the rail and jig at the same time without being in a very awkward position.
Dude, I knew it was you. I didn't want to say anything because I don't like to bother people.
No, that's fine.
But I saw your setup and I'm like, it's him.
Yeah. Alright, if you guys made it this far, I'll show you a little trick on the 5-inch mullet. I should start doing that more often. Put the juice near the end of the video. Most people check out after 3 minutes according to my analytics. Anyway, you split the tail down the middle. This achieves a quicker action on the tail and a faster rate of fall in deep water and heavy current. So I'm still using the same 1/4 ounce jig head, but you really have to mind your casting angles now that the current is starting to rip. Now here's another tip that should be common sense. I've caught a lot of fish at this point, and I have not retied even once. I haven't lost a jig head, I haven't even checked my knot, and this is what happens. Oh! At least it was the loop knot that broke and not the Alberto, which was by design. But still, that could have been the fish of the day, and now we'll never know. Big robin. very awkward. And you'll see this fish, I sort of gaffed it in the side. Now, obviously, she took a swipe at that jig. There's no way you're foul hooking a fluke. But this happens quite often with the mullet. And the reason why, and this is pro tip number 3, more juice I'm giving up after the 10-minute mark. You see how I'm jigging here. I am not letting it swing on a tight line. I'm in deeper water. I'm standing vertically over deeper water. So I am dropping that jig on a slack line. All right, it's a free falling jig, so it's moving quickly. And their aim is just a little bit off when that jig is flying by their head. Oh, fuck. And there's another keeper I gaffed in the neck. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned a couple of things about jigging a pier efficiently. I think I might be over 14,000 subs at this point, and I appreciate all the support. Be sure to check out the new website, cookingandfishing.com. You don't even need to buy anything. I'm just proud of the way it turned out, and I want people to see it. Okay, as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.